Welcome to a world where timeless elegance meets modern sophistication. This is the Spanish colonial dream, reborn through stunning architecture and artful design. As we begin our journey, let the first impression transport you to a world of warmth, luxury, and tradition. The home stands as a sanctuary nestled against sun-drenched hills, its white stucco walls glowing with character, its terracotta tiles whispering stories of heritage. A gentle breeze rustles the palm trees overhead, as golden sunlight dances across arched wooden doors and iron lanterns. This isn't just a home, it's a statement. From above, the symmetry reveals itself. Landscaped gardens wrap around the structure like a handcrafted frame. Olive trees, succulents, and gravel paths form an effortless dialogue between nature and architecture. At its heart, a courtyard, where a Moorish fountain bubbles softly, anchoring the space in calm, intentional beauty. Every detail invites your eyes to linger. Aged wood doors rich with grain, bougainvillea in full bloom embracing the entry arch, casting deep shadows on the stucco walls. It's as though nature has collaborated with the builder to create this moment of arrival. Step inside, and you're greeted by vaulted ceilings and exposed wooden beams that echo the craftsmanship of centuries past. The floor beneath your feet tells stories through patterned encaustic tiles, each one a small mosaic of history. Sunlight floods the space through tall, arched windows, illuminating art that speaks of the region's soul. The courtyard is an invitation to slow down. Through a series of perfect arches, you glimpse terracotta tiles warming in the sun and candlelit sconces flickering as dusk approaches. Modern outdoor seating in muted earth tones bridges tradition with comfort, creating a perfect place for reflection. Even the garden is an expression of design. Rosemary-lined paths, adobe walls, and carefully placed lighting invite a sense of wonder. As you walk through this space, you're reminded that design isn't just about form, it's about feeling. And as night falls, the home begins to glow. Lanterns cast soft light on whitewashed walls. Shadows dance across iron grills. The stars begin to twinkle above the terracotta roofline. This is the soul of Spanish colonial design, timeless, cinematic, and utterly captivating. To understand Spanish colonial architecture, we begin centuries ago in the sun-drenched courtyards of Old Spain. Influenced by Roman, Moorish, and Mediterranean traditions, this architectural style evolved with warmth, purpose, and spiritual undertones. From its inception, it was designed to be both resilient and beautiful. As Spanish explorers expanded into the Americas in the 16th and 17th centuries, they brought not only their faith but their vision of home. Missions were built in remote landscapes, constructed from adobe and stone, topped with red clay tiles, and anchored by towers that held heavy bronze bells. These structures were as functional as they were poetic. In places like Mexico, California, and the American Southwest, Spanish colonial architecture adapted to the local climate and materials. The walls became thicker to insulate against heat, the courtyards larger to encourage airflow, and the rooftops steeper to shed rain. Everything had a reason, yet everything remained artful. The Spanish hacienda emerged during this era. With sprawling layouts, colonnaded verandas, and interior gardens, these homes were both sanctuaries and status symbols. Terracotta floors echoed with the footsteps of generations, and citrus trees filled the air with fragrance. It was architecture grounded in the land. Far across the ocean, in the villages of Andalusia, the seeds of this aesthetic were still being sown. Cobblestone paths, wrought iron balconies, and whitewashed stucco walls stood resilient against the test of time. These visuals became the blueprint for future revivals across continents. Grand cathedrals of stone, crafted with Baroque carvings and towering facades, demonstrated the ambition of Spanish influence. They were more than places of worship. They were expressions of craftsmanship, permanence, and a belief in the divine power of architecture. In the early 20th century, a revival bloomed in California and parts of Latin America. Designers drew inspiration from the Romantic past, borrowing Moorish details, rounded arches, and whitewashed surfaces. It was not nostalgia, it was a reawakening of identity through design. Even today, the interiors of preserved Spanish colonial homes whisper the legacy of this movement. Heavy wooden furniture, woven textiles, plastered walls, and low flickering light carry the soul of centuries forward. History, here, is not frozen, it's alive in every corner. The beauty of Spanish colonial architecture lies in its timeless foundation, but in the hands of today's designers, it's evolving into something more, a fusion of old soul and new vision. This is where tradition meets modernity, and every detail is deliberate. In the modern Spanish colonial home, white plaster walls remain, but now they form the backdrop to minimalist furniture in soft, natural tones. The ceiling beams are still dark, but their rugged texture contrasts with sleek, refined materials. Large arched windows frame the light like paintings, letting golden sunlight dance across terracotta floors. Kitchens become showcases of this balance. Here, you'll find handcrafted walnut cabinets paired with quartz countertops. Arched niches for cooking spaces feel rooted in tradition, while brass fixtures and clean lighting reflect a modern palette. It's not about replacing the old, it's about refining it. Even the hallways tell a story. Patterned encaustic tiles from the past run alongside black steel-framed doors and reclaimed wood ceilings. Stucco walls meet industrial glass, creating a dialogue between the rustic and the contemporary. The result is harmony without compromise. In the courtyard, fire replaces water as a modern gathering point. Benches hug a circular fire pit, surrounded by desert landscaping and overhead string lights. Here, tradition is distilled into shape and form, with materials like clay and wood keeping it grounded. Bedrooms embrace the serenity of clean design while still nodding to their roots. A canopy bed made of reclaimed wood, antique brass sconces, and linen textiles breathe warmth into minimalist compositions. Light filters in softly through open arched doors, reminding us that tradition lives in the air itself. Open-plan interiors merge the rustic soul of Spanish design with modern livability. Exposed beams frame a space filled with soft textures, neutral colors, and ceramic accents. The fireplace remains a focal point, not with ornament, but with material richness and functional grace. Bathrooms become sanctuaries, carved in plaster and softened by warm tones. Mosaic tiles underfoot, stone tubs, and built-in niches nod to history, while the layout and fixtures speak to the present. Even outdoors, the blend continues. Pergolas cast dramatic shadows on smooth stucco walls, glowing lanterns providing a cinematic close to the day. The true character of Spanish colonial design begins at the exterior. It's in the way sunlight kisses white stucco walls, and how curved terracotta tiles crown rooftops with a timeless rhythm. These elements aren't decorative, they're essential, breathing identity into the home's first impression. The facade tells a story of symmetry and detail. Iron balconies cradle terracotta pots bursting with color. Stucco finishes hold subtle texture, their imperfections becoming part of their beauty. Framed in soft twilight, these homes appear not just built, but sculpted. Look closer, and you'll see the craftsmanship. The curved clay tiles are not just roofing, they're tradition layered in red earth and fire. Weathered by sun and softened by time, they hold warmth long after the day ends, releasing it into cool desert evenings. Arched openings define movement and transition. From exterior archways that frame a courtyard to recessed entries that lead into shaded halls, these rounded forms soften the structure's silhouette and invite the eye to wander deeper. Double wooden doors with iron studs stand proudly beneath archways. Lanterns, flickering with ambient light, create shadows that dance on cobblestone paths. Vines crawl lazily along the walls, blurring the line between built and grown. Each elevation reveals something new. Staggered rooflines, dark wooden shutters, and earth-toned landscaping blend into the environment. Agave and succulents dot the edges of paths, their silhouettes sharp under morning sun. There's a rugged softness to this harmony. Then, the veranda, a space between the world and the home. Wooden columns with hand-carved detail, terracotta beneath your feet, and potted olive trees casting patterned shadows. It's not just a patio, it's a threshold to slow living, framed by hills and golden skies. As night descends, the home begins to glow. Lanterns spill light across stucco walls. Ground-level lights graze upward, revealing textures often hidden by daylight. Iron gates throw artistic shadows on stone paths. It's cinematic, intentional, and full of presence. The grand entryway of a Spanish colonial home sets the tone before a word is spoken. As you approach, the arched wooden doors rise before you, weathered and rich with hand-carved detail. Iron hardware glints in the golden hour light, and every shadow cast across the stucco hints at history. This is not just an entrance, it's a declaration. Step inside, and the foyer opens like a cathedral. Vaulted ceilings rise above, crossed with exposed wooden beams stained deep walnut. A wrought iron chandelier hangs overhead, heavy and ornate, suspended in quiet balance. Below your feet, encaustic tiles swirl in bold patterns, earthy reds, inky blues, and sun-washed ochres telling silent stories. A curved staircase becomes sculpture in motion. Its terracotta risers are hand-painted in delicate motifs, and the iron railing flows like calligraphy. At the base, a rustic console with a time-worn mirror invites a moment of pause, a space to breathe, to arrive. Hallways unfurl from the foyer, framed by arches and grounded by thick plaster walls. Niche alcoves hold pottery, lantern sconces glow with a golden hue, and the scent of age wood lingers in the air. Each step forward is softened by light and layered texture. From the heart of the foyer, sightlines stretch outward, toward a sunlit courtyard framed by open doors. Stone floors beneath are cool and patterned, and potted palms sway slightly in the warm breeze. You are indoors, yet deeply connected to the world outside. Here, elegance takes many forms. Checkerboard floors in terracotta and marble reflect morning light. A coffered ceiling carved from dark wood carries the whisper of artisan hands. Stucco walls glow softly as sconces spill warm light, revealing the touch of trowel and time. Even the smallest alcoves hold purpose. A built-in bench dressed in woven fabrics becomes a quiet retreat. A Spanish landscape painting draws the eye toward distant hills. Candlelight flickers against the curved walls, creating a sanctuary within the threshold. As day turns to dusk, layered lighting transforms the foyer. Lanterns, chandeliers, and uplights work in quiet harmony, shaping shadows and revealing texture. This is more than design, it's a mood, a memory, an invitation. The journey inward begins here. Living spaces in a Spanish colonial home don't just serve a function, they carry a soul. Each room tells a story, grounded in earthy materials, timeless forms, and the quiet confidence of handcrafted beauty. Step into one, and you feel the presence of history made personal. The ceiling above might be crossed with bold, exposed beams, each one imperfect, each one alive. White plaster walls breathe with texture, their undulating surfaces catching light in different ways throughout the day. A carved stone fireplace anchors the space, while worn leather and woven textures offer comfort without pretense. In an open-concept living room, terracotta tiles guide your steps. Shelving niches built directly into the walls hold pottery, books, and art passed down or picked up through time. Reclaimed wood and wrought iron fixtures strike a balance between the rustic and refined. Some spaces curl inward, like a sunken lounge wrapped in soft stucco curves. Lanterns sway gently overhead, while plush linen seating welcomes you to sit, stay, and breathe. It's a space designed to slow the world down, colored with patterns drawn from centuries of Spanish influence. Light plays a starring role in every room. Whether it's sunrise casting golden rays through arched windows or evening lanterns flickering across textured walls, every glow adds character. Even a rattan chair or a clay vase feels elevated under this light, each detail part of a bigger visual story. Built-in bookshelves and accent walls painted in muted greens or ochres give living rooms a grounded feeling. Artisan crafts, textiles, and sculptural forms fill the room with subtle movement. It's a space made not for showing off, but for living well. And then there's the drama of scale. Double-height ceilings, massive chandeliers, and grand arched windows make a room feel like a cathedral of comfort. Yet even here, softness reigns, linen upholstery, warm tile underfoot, and the occasional mosaic reminding you that beauty is in the detail. Even in modern interpretations, the soul remains. Lime-plastered walls meet sculptural furniture, with floating wooden shelves that leave room to breathe. These are not rooms meant to impress, they're spaces meant to hold life, and everything that comes with it. The kitchen is more than just a place to cook, it's the soul of the Spanish colonial home. Here, warmth is tangible. The textures, the colors, the light, they all come together to create a space that is both functional and deeply rooted in tradition. Ceiling beams stretch overhead, their rugged forms telling stories of age and craftsmanship. Below, terracotta tiles line the floor in earthy rhythm. A central island, carved from dark walnut and topped with marble, anchors the space. Pots hang from iron racks, catching the afternoon sun as it slips through an arched window. The cooking niche is a moment of theater. Framed in thick plaster, it holds a hand-painted Talavera tile backsplash, each tile a brushstroke of heritage. Bronze fixtures catch the glow from wrought iron pendant lamps, their light low and golden, wrapping the room in intimacy. Modern interpretations bring fresh contrast. Matte black cabinetry with brass accents sits confidently beside troweled stucco walls. Reclaimed wood shelving holds ceramics with stories of their own. Even the light feels curated, filtered through old glass, landing softly on patterned tile floors. In the quieter corners, charm resides in the smallest details. A vintage range tucked inside a tiled alcove. Clay pots stacked neatly on a built-in shelf. The glow of sunset painting warm hues across every plaster curve and wooden beam. Some kitchens embrace grandeur, a hearth that commands the room, a custom ironhead standing like sculpture, brick arches framing the stove, and cement tiles underfoot etched with timeless motifs. These are rooms where meals become rituals and design becomes memory. Then there are those filled with air and light, glass doors that open to the garden, lime-washed wood cabinetry, and butcher block surfaces softened by daily use. Pottery rests quietly on open shelves. The breeze carries in the scent of rosemary, and morning light sketches shadows across the countertop. Even in compact kitchens, personality thrives. Arched windows bring in slivers of sun, aged copper sinks reflect a soft patina, and old stools wait beside stone counters. At the edge of the room, a long wooden table gathers friends and family beneath the iron glow of a chandelier. In a Spanish colonial home, bedrooms and bathrooms are more than private spaces, they are sanctuaries. Here, simplicity and craftsmanship blend into peacefulness, creating rooms that exhale calm and invite rest. The bedroom welcomes you with soft white plaster walls and sturdy wooden beams overhead. A canopy bed draped in flowing linen sits gently atop a hand-woven rug. Through arched doors, sunlight spills across terracotta tiles, warming the floor and the soul. Texture and tone work in quiet harmony. Curved stucco walls embrace a bed dressed in layered, earthy fabrics. Sheer curtains breathe with the morning air, and rustic ceramic lamps cast warm pools of light. These rooms don't demand attention, they soothe it. Vaulted ceilings stretch overhead in the master suite. A rich stucco accent wall grounds the space, while an iron-framed bed and Moroccan rug anchor it in tradition. A quiet corner holds a leather reading chair, and overhead, a lantern chandelier offers a soft evening glow. Even the guest bedrooms carry the same care. Twin beds with hand-woven blankets sit beneath candlelit alcoves, their soft plaster walls catching the light of a fading sun. Every detail feels considered, every material chosen to calm. Step into the bathroom, and serenity deepens. In an arched shower alcove, sand-toned tile-lacked walls meet brass rain fixtures. Mosaic tile floors cool the skin, while rolled towels rest neatly on a built-in bench. Light from a high window paints the walls in warm silence. The bathtub becomes sculpture beneath an arched window. Freestanding and classic, it rests beside a vintage wooden vanity with a stone basin. A small chandelier above flickers gently, while patterned tile adds rhythm to the stillness. Some spaces open up completely, with double arches framing floating wood vanities, limestone floors, and ceramic vessels for everyday rituals. Light filters in from every direction, playing across materials, revealing textures, and creating cinematic moments of stillness. In more modern blends, lime-washed walls and concrete sinks stand beneath reclaimed wood ceilings. Encaustic tiles give history a foundation, while soft pendant lights create intimacy. Whether rustic or refined, these spaces offer peace, not just for the body, but for the mind. In the heart of Spanish colonial design lies a devotion to nature, space, and seamless connection. The indoor and the outdoor do not compete, they dance together, blending form and function with grace. Courtyards serve as sacred spaces. Surrounded by whitewashed stucco and crowned with a tiered stone fountain, they offer a tranquil center to the home. Potted bougainvillea and terracotta tiles bring warmth, while wrought iron lanterns glow as the sun sets. Arched hallways guide you gently from room to courtyard. Palm leaves reach up toward filtered light, casting shadows against smooth clay tiles. The transition feels less like a threshold and more like a breath, one space exhaling into the next. Large wooden-framed glass doors open wide, dissolving any boundary between living room and outdoor lounge. A rustic adobe fireplace anchors the scene. Overhead, string lights shimmer like stars in early dusk, inviting quiet conversation and connection. In the garden courtyard, olive trees and lavender sway beside a tiled fountain. Stucco benches with soft cushions line the walls, encouraging long afternoons of reading or rest. Gravel paths and pergolas filter the light into poetic rhythm. On the veranda, time slows. Arched colonnades frame a view of the courtyard, while rattan chairs and hanging lanterns offer comfort in the in-between. From here, one glimpses the indoors, warm, alive, yet forever connected to the outdoors. Dining areas expand into nature. Glass walls fold back to reveal a tiled patio and a candlelit table beneath the stars. Vines climb the stucco, a reminder that beauty grows quietly in the margins when space allows it. At twilight, the central patio becomes a stage for serenity. Stone pavers lead you through open sky, soft cushions and ceramic planters inviting pause. From the living room, the view through an arched doorway is a painting of layered textures, light, and life. This is the gift of Spanish colonial design. It knows how to blur the line between shelter and sky, giving us a space where we can feel both rooted and free. As the sun sets on this breathtaking journey, we return to the essence of Spanish colonial design, timeless, soulful, and grounded in beauty. The home stands in golden light, its terracotta tiles glowing warmly, its stucco walls softly catching every fading ray. A close look at the craftsmanship reveals intentionality in every corner. Wrought iron curves with a quiet strength, aged to perfection by time and weather. These are not just design elements, they are stories forged in metal, echoing history with grace. The entryway, framed in shadow and lantern light, feels like a portal. It invites you in, not with extravagance, but with grounded elegance. Beyond it lies the warmth of home, a place that embraces you with textures, traditions, and soul. From above, the courtyard glows like a heartbeat at the center of everything. Plants breathe life into the geometry of tile, while water gently trickles in the fountain, offering serenity and rhythm to the architecture. A linen curtain flutters gently between indoors and out. The air flows freely, just like the design intends. Materials blend, woven, wooden, ceramic, each chosen not to impress, but to harmonize. This is how character is built. Even in rest, the home tells a story. In the bedroom, arched windows frame mountain silhouettes, and carved wood cradles you in tradition. Light pours in slowly, quietly, with the intimacy only a well-loved space can offer. The kitchen, grounded in natural materials, reflects the heartbeat of the home. Marble and brass, wood and sunlight, it is a place where life is prepared and shared, rich with warmth and the flavors of connection. And as the final frame holds steady, we see the home whole once again, bathed in dusk, alive with lantern glow, silhouetted against a quiet sky. It stands not just as a structure, but as a reflection of how we can live, intentionally, beautifully, and fully. Thank you for joining us in this visual journey. May your own spaces carry the same balance of tradition and modern life, where soul meets structure, and home becomes a sanctuary.